Oh, the title screen. How I've missed you so. Hey there guys, my name is Blake, also known as the Nerd, and welcome back to another episode of Pokémon SoulSilver. Last time, we beat Red on Mount Silver. A little spammy, I will admit, because we did mostly use some Hyper Potions and other potions and whatnot. We barely got to attack. And if anything, my Pokemon don't have that much experience at all. If you are to look at it, like, none of my team members actually have big amount of experience. Maybe minus Reynolds, who was the only one to be at 65. Everyone else had no experience. So I apologize if that was way more spammy than you anticipated it to be. But that was my first time, in my defense, taking on Red and Pokémon SoulSilver. So of course I didn't quite know how to approach it and what to do. And granted, now that I look back at it, I could have actually raised my level up to at least 70, so that it would have been a little bit easier. But I was thinking, hey, 64 compared to the level 84 Pokemon, that wouldn't be too bad. No, it's atrocious with that, but it's doable. It just requires potions. It just requires potions. Also, I don't like the fact that there's advertisements on something I'm trying to pull up here. So what we're doing in this episode is some of the things you can get. Some of the things you can do once you've beaten Red in Elite Four. But before I do that, though, I need to do. Oh, I don't have my running shoes on. I need to do one thing you could do even before you got the National Well, even before you beat Red. And that is, as you can see, is in the morning. And that is actually over in the Indigo Plateau. So, of course, I'm going to need Ho-Oh once again. Thank goodness I had plenty of these max repels from the last time. So I'm here in the Indigo Plateau because there is something else we could have done even before we defeated Red. We would simply have to have defeated Claire and Lance in the Dragon's Den like we did beforehand as part of the rock climbing montage, if you remember that. So I'm going to have to move you back into the party, Vulcan. We don't need HES's 1994 for now. I like how I said that name shortly, and if you were to argue with me in the past, I would have been like, there's a meaning to my name, you know? But yeah, who has time to state all that past me? Like, really? Did you expect anyone to do that? And on Mondays and Wednesdays, if you try to go past the Elite Four, you have your rival. Hold it! You're going to take the Pokemon League Challenge now? You'll have to give up on that. My well-trained, beyond recognition Pokemon are going to pound you. Right now, right here. I challenge you. And on Mondays and Wednesdays, you can battle him once again. He'll have much higher level Pokemon. And I'm actually going to hold my mouse onto this, that way another ad doesn't pop up, because ads just look like that. Okay, that's actually kind of annoying. But his Pokemon actually do have higher levels. So Sneasel right here is level 55. Inner Focus for the ability, with Shadow Claw, Feint Attack, Icy Wind, and Metal Claw. I'm not worried about this. Actually, you're a little bit faster, so I should have actually been a little bit worried, but even still, I'm not that worried at all, if anything. So, we're gonna Rock Slide. That's no problem. And unlike the Red battle, this one won't be so bad. Because, of course, it's our rival. Why would it be any more difficult than it already was? If anything, I'm just glad I'm getting more experience because of this. Next Pokemon is Alakazam, level 56, synchronized with the ability with Psychic, Reflect, Focus Blast, and Recover. It does have Focus Blast, so I will need to be careful about that, but one payback should do the trick. Yeah, well, it reflected. Okay. Maybe two paybacks will do the trick. I don't really know, but yeah. That honestly should do the trick, hopefully. There we go. Down goes you. Yeah, we're definitely going to have to get back some of our experience because of all the revives we did, not a single Pokemon actually got a chance to get some experience other than like Reynolds, who grew to 65, and the most experience they had didn't unfortunately get into enough experience. Gengar is level, it will show up, level 56, Levitate for the ability. I know you're hearing mouse rolls because there's a freaking ad every time, and it just likes to stop on there for some reason. With Dark Pulse, Confuse Ray, Shadow Ball, and Sludge Bomb. Did it poison me? Oh, it did poison me. You son of a gun. I mean, it doesn't matter, but that's actually kind of annoying. It will Confuse Ray, but for the most part, it will use Dark Pulse, which is weird because Shadow Ball does the exact same weaknesses except it's stab, so I guess to not worry about normal times, I can see that as the only reason for that. But otherwise, I don't understand that at all. Speaking of not understanding, why don't I, just in case, take a screenshot of this, because that ad has been popping up too many times, and we're gonna roll and see what happens, because, or unless, yeah, I'm gonna pull out my phone, don't I? Because, holy crap, none of this is working the way I want it to. Okay, fine, we'll keep it going here. Magneton is your next Pokemon, so another trip to Oberon, or another trip for Oberon, I'm sorry. Oh, and now Photoshop wants to work. Okay. This Magneton is at level 55 with Sturdy for the ability. Holy crap, why is Wikipedia being a jerk at scrolling up when I don't want to scroll? I want to stay where we are. With Discharge, Magnet Bomb, Mirror Shot, and Thunder Wave has Magnet Pull, not Sturdy. That's what happens when you don't let me keep on my thing and you constantly let me scroll down every single time. It gets annoying. I'm sorry, but it does. There we go. Down goes that Magneton. Pretty easily. See, unlike the red battle, this is a piece of cake. With only very few exceptions. Starter Pokemon. Of course, this is for Alligator at level 60. With Ice Fang, Slash, Aqua Tail, and Crunch with Torrent ability. If you chose Totodile, it'd be Meganium, but since this is Body Slam, Petal Dance, and Light Screen. And if you were to choose Chikorita, it'd be Typhlosion with Flamethrower, Rollout, Will-O-Wisp, and Swift. So there we go. And his last Pokemon, before I forget, is Crobat, level 58. Air Focus for the ability with Air Cutter, Bite, Confuse Ray, and Toxic. I beat it right before anything else could happen, so I didn't need to hit break screen for some reason, which means I can minimize Photoshop. Alrighty, and because that's his last Pokemon, I don't have a problem just staying in with Crobat. But luckily we're near Pokemon Center too, so I did not mean to hit switch Pokemon. Like I said before, we were fine. I don't know why it prompted me not to do that. So let's Thunderbolt. Oh no, I forgot, you're faster. Wait, despite the fact that I'm like, the 859, oh my gosh, okay. That's a no. That's a big no, okay. Don't you, thank you, I was supposed to say, don't you dare flinch me twice, it's Bite. I don't get why it's not Poison Fang, nor does it have Cross Poison. There's also a couple things I don't understand about this, like, why doesn't it have something like, not Focus Blast, but why doesn't it have Weavile and Magnezone, since now he has access to this? I get it's trying to stay faithful, but come on, there's a lot of opportunities. Weavile, Magnezone, come on, spice it up, man. Oh no, I still can't win after all that training. I have to believe more in my Pokemon. No big deal. Sorry to have to get on the way. Don't forget the rest of your Pokemon before you challenge the champion. Oh, he's nice. I love that. And there's a teleporter right there, so I don't need to worry about teleporting all the way home. However, I do need to worry about flying over to the nearest area, because believe it or not, a lot of things we can do right now actually involve the Kanto region and not the Johto region. So I will now need to grab Ho again and fly around to the nearest town. So the first area I want to stop at is actually Pallet Town, because once you beat Red and you head over to Professor Oak's lab, you head all the way up here and you talk to Oak. Also, I got things on Snapchat that popped up for some reason, and there was a live video on Instagram. Thank you so much for that, guys.
Hello, Blake. Good to see you. I heard a lot about you. Your Pokedex must be close to complete. For all your hard work, I would like to give you something. Haha! What's behind me? You must have figured out right away. Yes, it is a Pokemon.
Really? I thought it was a Digimon. I didn't know that. Okay, so he gives us a choice of these three Pokemon.
You don't see them very often in Kanto, neither do you with Lapras, but that's available on Red for some reason. Choose one and it'll be yours.
Go ahead. Okay, so I do need to make one complaint that I didn't bring up in Red. Lapras being on the team just really hinders one weakness I have with him, which is Electric. Just adds one more Pokemon, whereas Espeon and Gold, Silver, and Crystal just kind of balances it out. Like, I had to do a little bit more strategy. I really wish I brought it out during the battle, but I was so busy focusing on the battle and trying to win that I forgot to mention that. I prefer Espeon over Lapras in terms of it because of the balance thing, but Lapras isn't a bad option either. It's just weird that a gifted Pokemon is the Pokemon he uses, and yet Eevee was like that as well, and even that's hard to find in both Johto and Kanto. It would make a lot more sense. Plus, they do a lot more with Espeon. Man, just thinking about it just gets me all fingy and whatnot. But, with that being said, we can choose from Charmander, which we're not going to take, Squirtle, which, maybe, or Bulbasaur. Remember, you can only choose one. And actually, normally I would pick a fire type in reference to some of my other playthroughs, but I did actually use a Charmander named Aragon in Pokemon X as a reference to my fire red playthrough. So I'm going to stick with the OG Pokemon that I've used, and I'm Team Squirtle. I'm sorry. We're going to go with Squirtle, the first Pokemon I've had in my Pokemon journey. And in honor of my very first Pokemon game and my very first Pokemon I began a journey with, I'm going to name it Joe. Because I was obsessed with the name Joe at the time. I thought it sounded really cool and whatnot. Yes, we're going to nickname it Joe. And if a wild Pokemon appears, your Pokemon can battle it. With it at your side, you should be able to reach the next town. What am I saying? You already know all this. Wow, you are quite the jokester, aren't you? Ha ha ha. Funny. Alright. What is Joe's summary here? It's a lax nature, and it's... Wow, defense for special defense? Ugh. Man, Red's Blastoise definitely was a lot better than this one, that's for sure. But that's not the only Pokemon we can get in here. There is another Pokemon that we can get, but that requires us to go to Saffron City. And once we've arrived here in Saffron City, we want to head over to this building right over here, the Sylph Building. And inside, we should have a visitor on our hands. Yes, remember Steven Stone from earlier in the playthrough? Well, he's back. Hello, you're breaking up. I think it depends on how my dad feels. I see. I'll be on my way. See you soon. I remember your eyes. When I see a trainer whose eyes twinkle, I always remember. You have a Pokédex, so you're also in the search of Pokemon. Let me see. I think I can help you with that. Let's say you have stones in front of you. Which color would you pick? Now, this is interesting, because each of these stones represent a Pokemon from the Hoenn region, specifically the starters. Green represents Trico, red represents Torchic, and blue represents Mudkip. Once again, it's very similar to the Kanto starters, and you can only pick one. However, unlike the last one which I referenced to, a very old playthrough, the first one a long time ago before YouTube even existed, I'm gonna pick a red one. Because that gives us a Torchic. And I want to nickname something very, very important to the YouTube side of my life, mostly, and the YouTube channel as well. What the heck am I saying? We're gonna name this thing Captain Falcon. But it's not quite the Falcon yet. Making me very happy, and luckily enough, we can train these guys up very quickly because we do have access to Mount Silver and access to some areas and a lucky egg as well. But that's not the only thing we can get from him. And if I remember, I'm actually looking this up right now, if we head over to Pewter City and head into the museum, we should be able to talk to Steven once again, if he is in here. Yes, he is. After we talked to him, caught Latias, and obtained a stone from him, we talked to him again. He'll be here. All these shining stars in that are the stones I never got to know. I'll never get to know. I guess I have to talk to you once again? Maybe? All these shining stars I get to know. How do I get your attention? Okay, so I did a little bit more research, and it turns out... By the way, this is the Pokemon you do need to trade in for much later point for another Pokemon that'll be showing up at later points. But you do need to talk to him in Pewter just once after you obtained the gems and got the Latios, beat Red, etc. And then come back here and you'll find Steven Stone. Never knew about this. We meet again. Have you been to Hoenn before? It's such a beautiful place with the clearest ocean you can imagine. Yeah, I know. I actually gave that a 7.8 for some reason because it was too much water. Memes! Old memes are the best. Hey, why don't we trade Pokemon? I've been looking for a fortress. I can trade my Beldum for it. This is one of only 2 ways you can get a Beldum. The other way is to place objects in the Safari Zone and wait a bit. If you're looking for a quick, it's going to take a little bit longer, but it'll be worth it in the long run. And just like that, we have ourselves a Beldum. Again, one of few options you can get a Beldum, so this is what I highly recommend you getting. It's named Iron, and the fastest way you can get a fortress is if you headbutt a Pineco in the routes before you head over to Victory Road. They are much higher levels. In fact, if you're able to headbutt a tree with Pinecos in it, it'll be between 28 to 29, meaning you'll only have to level it up 2 to 3 times, depending on what level. From there, you should have a fortress. So, with this Beldum, I believe, I don't remember what nature it is. I did skip over the dialogue, unfortunately, because I actually do want to see what the buzz is all about this. The nature will always be a brave nature, and always have takedown, because, yeah, pseudo-legendary with takedown, that sounds fun. But it always does hold a Dawnstone. So I'm going to go ahead and take that. And if you want to level this up a little bit more, you could get a Metagross this way, and it's a lot quicker too. Does this say the OT? Yes, it does. OT is Steven. It's all good and dandy. Now, normally I would end off this episode here, but I'm not really satisfied with having both a Squirtle and a Torchic named after Pokemon I've had for a long time and not have them fully evolved. You know I have to do this, but I gotta train them. I must. So, I'll show you guys the evolution process in the meantime. Okay, and with that, Joe is now 36. I actually had to off-screen the rest of it because if it were on screen, it'd probably take more than an hour's worth of recording. So I don't feel like wasting a whole bunch of memory. But with that, Joe is evolving, which means our very first Pokemon out of the 2 is fully complete. Man, it's been a while since we had an evolution line. But look at that bulky turtle. Ah, it's giving me nostalgic vibes of Pokemon Red all over again. Oh man, I'm so glad I went with the Blastoise because so much nostalgia, man. So much nostalgia. And look at that, it's big. Before I talk to you though, Lyra, it's coming up. About talking Totodile with you taking photo. I don't care. Yeah, she does have the Pokemon you don't have. Look at you big, bulky thing, you. What trap? I don't know. What trap? There is no traps, Joe. I don't know what you're talking about. But, with Joe being done, now it's time for Captain Falcon to shine and hopefully be a Pokemon once again. Hopefully it works around this time. What? Captain Falcon is evolving. And returning from the death of the emulated Pokemon Emerald, it is Captain Falcon at his finest. I miss doing that voice so much, I'm not gonna lie. I love that these Pokemon are available to you right off the bat after you beat Red, though, but my goodness, okay. Blastoise didn't take that long to evolve, but I also like how this goes silent after a bit. But grinding Torchic to become a Blaziken is so mind-boggling. It is almost 2 in the morning right now. I've been off-screen grinding this just so I can get a Blaziken. And funnily enough, we're doing this on the route that I actually need to be in for the next episode. So, conspiracy? Probably not. Honestly, probably not. So I'm gonna fly over to Signwood. I don't feel like surfing through. And yeah, the place I went to for Combuskin, I remember because Miltank is pretty good EXP. With the Lucky Egg is actually 1500. Speaking of, I don't think Captain Falcon needs this anymore. So, Captain Falcon, you're going to have to give me that back. Actually, I want to see your overworld sprite. I've never seen it. Dang, that's pretty good. Alright, and he yawned loudly. This is a pretty cool world sprite. I gotta say, this is a lot better than I thought it was going to be. But I do have to heal, and then I will drop off some of my Pokemon. But that means, the ones that aren't going to be used for the next episode, which is probably not Ho-Oh, and of course not Captain Falcon or Blastoise. I was on the right track. I was mixing Blastoise, so I was thinking Blastoise because I mixed up Blastoise and Captain Falcon for some reason. So let's just go ahead and deposit these Pokemon real quick. They luckily have their own spot here, so yeah, eventually I will need it later on, but I'm not really too worried about that right now. So you can come over here. Wait, I'm missing a slot. I'm missing a Pokemon. Oh, that's why. Oh, that's right. You replaced the fortress. That's right. All right. So we should be good now. Any of my Pokemon I don't need, I can take later on, which I don't think I need to worry about. What I should worry about is how many balls I have, which luckily I'm also not worried about, considering the fact that I've actually been saving up a ton of these balls. And that's the main reason why I haven't been buying as much of those, because I have stocked up specifically for the final Pokemon that we need to catch. And that'll be for next episode. I did also get some heavy balls, just in case, and I also did buy up some luxury balls from the lottery, so this final legendary Pokemon, which you can only get after you beat Red, is going to be a great addition. Also, I think I need to talk to Oak for that, so yippee, more trips around it, I think. Unless that's readily available. Let me double check on that real quick. Holy crap, it's 2 in the morning. This is the latest I've recorded anything for my channel. Holy crap. And this is also the longest series now, because Black 2 was actually, I think, only 66 episodes, and this is on its 72nd episode. Holy crap. And now we need to head all the way up here, where Mr. Pokemon is, and talk directly to Mr. Pokemon. It's been a while. How you been? Hi, Blake. I have something I want you to have, and was just about to send an email to Professor Oak. Well, you didn't. The thing is, a friend of mine from Hoenn came over here to give this gift to me. Running up to the thing to get it, okay, and walk slowly over. And we get the red orb, which in Heart Gold would be the blue orb. So keep this in mind whenever you're playing Heart Gold, as you will need this item specifically for the final Pokemon that we're about to catch. Once again, thank goodness I did this beforehand and actually looked it up so that I wasn't blindly running around. Now, with that being said, that is a lot. We battled our rival. We have voice cracks now. But that's not that's not particularly anything new at this point. You know what else isn't new? Me having the post array because I accidentally forgot the audio from another episode. Yes, this is supposed to be an entire separate episode, but unfortunately, because I accidentally deleted the audio that was supposed to go with this footage, which I decided at the last second to combine both of them anyways, I had to do this way. So once you head over to Signwood City with the red orb in hand, you will run into Chuck here, as you can see. He'll tell you, oh hey, if you want to take on the cave over there, you're going to need Surf and Rock Climb, as well as all the Kanto patches, as he mentioned before. I see, so you defeated all the gym leaders in Kanto as well. I can tell you see it very well. Then there's nothing to worry about. Believe in yourself and walk in your path. Yahaha! Man, try reading all that in post-narration, which, yes, gotta do this in post-narration. I think I mentioned this before, but just in case I didn't. Hi, you're new to this. So, once you enter the little cavern and surf across here, you remember that little rock climb spot that we went to pick up one of the items? I actually don't remember what the item was, but if you do rock climb back, you will notice that the guy who still was in the entrance of the cave, well, is still in the entrance of the cave. That's pretty much about it. It's nothing really too new, however, it's there in case you need it. You can talk to me again if you want, which I believe, yes, I think this is the building that may have been built in shrine the Pokemon with a strong connection to the sea, the land, and the sky. So there's your nice little hint there that, oh, one mythical Pokemon might be in there now. Which legendary Pokemon you get in the Embedded Tower depends on which version you're playing. Since we're playing SoulSilver, it's obviously going to be Groudon, but if you're playing Heart Gold, it will be Kyogre. I would recommend saving before you even take on this legendary, just in case you faint it, because believe it or not, it's not the level you think it is. Because our Pokemon right now are in the 60s, you'd think it'd be in the 70s, but that's ultimately not it, so be prepared and be sure to save. Also provide a lot of balls. Anyways, Groudon is ready. I had to make sure you guys listen to this remake of the Hoenn Legendary theme, which they didn't have to do, but the fact they did that is so actually freaking cool. So, Groudon is the legendary Pokemon of the land of the Hoenn region, said to brought up the sun and the land, whereas Kyogre was said to bring in the sea, then Rayquaza, if you played Emerald, you probably know where this is going. So, in terms of the best Pokeballs to use to catch Groudon, obviously Ultra Balls will work. Dust Balls will also work phenomenally since you are in a dark cave, and I highly also recommend you bring in some Heavy Balls from Kurt. Groudon weighs over 2,000 pounds, making it one of the best Pokemon to use the Heavy Balls on, since it's guaranteed to at least have one shake if anything. You will have some occasions where there are 0 shakes, and of course start off with a Quick Ball, just in case. And to no one's surprise, Groudon took a while. Don't you just love when you make a legendary Pokemon faint so you have to restart the whole thing? Heaven knows I don't, so yeah, that was a thing that happened. Unfortunately, I didn't get to show off all of my recordings because, again, it is post-narrated, plus it took me over 50 minutes to actually catch this Groudon. But while it's asleep, which I recommend because it does learn rest, I threw a Heavy Ball at yellow health and it was able to catch it very easily, so nothing unique. And unfortunately, no really interesting reactions as far as I remember. I remember it was like, finally! And then that was it. So, I guess you didn't miss out on too much, but Groudon is the continent Pokemon. 11 foot 6 inches, 2,094.4 pounds, said to expend the lands by evaporating water with raging heat. It's battled titanically with Kyogre. And for those of you curious on how you get Rayquaza, it does require both Groudon and Kyogre. However, there is a catch. It cannot be any Kyogre or Groudon imported from Ruby or Sapphire respectively. It has to be from Pokemon Heart Gold for Kyogre or SoulSilver for Groudon in case you don't have either one of those. Then and only then will you be able to get the right to battle and catch Rayquaza after talking to Professor Oak. The video will go over in a little bit about it. Figured I might as well explain it a little bit early on in case I forget, which luckily most of the time in post-narration, for the few times that we actually had to, a lot of them unnecessary, and only one time it actually was on purpose. So there is that. But once that guy leaves and explains everything he's explained to you, he disappears. He's gone. That's it. So, once you have either Groudon or Kyogre, as the guy mentioned earlier through text, you want to visit Professor Oak in Pallet Town and show him Kyogre in Heart Gold or Groudon in SoulSilver. Kinda makes sense when I think about it looking back because Ho-Oh is a rainbow summoning Pokemon, so Kyogre just kind of with the rain, and then SoulSilver. Lugia is the Pokemon underwater, and Groudon is, the Pokemon of land. When you think about it that way, it kind of makes sense. Was first kind of bummed that Kyogre and Lugia were in SoulSilver, and Groudon and Ho-Oh were in Heart Gold or something like that. But actually, while I'm on the subject of Groudon, can I say that they made major improvements to Groudon in Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire? This is one of the things I'll be talking about, kind of praising it. The rest of the time, I've been backlashing it, but this is one of the big praises. Because while Groudon was already pretty good with Drought and being able to sort of take water types even better, Primal Groudon, being Ground and Fire, and having an ability that completely evaporates its 4 times weakness, making it only weak to ground, is phenomenal! I cannot imagine Groudon now without the Primal Reversion, so that's a huge change. And Primal character is also really good too, but I just think Primal Groudon really, really needed that buff. So he did mention in a more poetic way that you need to acquire Pokemon Heart Gold in order for you to get Kyogre, or the Heart of Gold, or the Soul of Silver. Actually, he does both of them in order for you to get Rayquaza. Unfortunately, I don't have Kyogre in Heart Gold. And if anyone is willing to, I might be at E3. I don't know. I might be done with E3 by the time this is uploaded. Fun fact: I'm actually recording this way before E3 is even up. Or E3 is even here. So that should give you a little brief idea as to where I am in the timeline. But up until this point, that's all the legendaries. We've gotten the legendary bird, the legendary beast, Lugia, Ho-Oh, and Mewtwo, and now Groudon, which means we have every single legendary Pokemon up to this point. Again, unless someone offers a Kyogre somewhere in the future, in which case I will show off Rayquaza as a bonus video, alongside one I do plan, but that might take a while. So, with that being said, I'd like to thank you all so much for watching this episode of Pokemon SoulSilver, as I actually decided to battle Camper Liz with Groudon. I'll show that off, and then I'll end off the episode, but I figure you guys should see it for yourself. So, as I sign off this post-narration portion, next time on Pokemon SoulSilver, let's try to defeat the Elite Four once more, because I've heard they're a little bit tougher. So if there's any episodes you missed, whether from the past or from the future, make sure you check them out in the playlist down in the description below, the eye in the top right corner, or the upcoming end slate. Once again, I apologize for having both segments, but I figured since we were getting started Pokemon, I might as well get the legendary while I was here, and I figured this would be a perfect time just to combine the two. At least it makes for a much more entertaining 72 than what it normally would have been, which was just the starters. With all that being said though, my name is Blake, also known as the Nerd, and I'll see you guys in the next episode. So until we meet again, do enjoy the epic sweep that Groudon and Typhlosion provide. Yeah, it's not just Groudon. Man, you just gotta love legendary Pokemon.